Hello and welcome to another SciFirst MovieTalk episode. In this episode I will be discussing Disney's 1986 animated classic Basil the Great Mouse Detective, watched as part of our ongoing family film night series. Being produced in 1986 puts this movie just sort of at the end of the early era of Disney classic animations, prior to the likes of Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and this is one of my own personal most beloved Disneys from that period. It is perhaps not quite the most remembered Disney classic, as it's not a sing-along extravaganza, as of course a fair amount of Disneys actually are. And it doesn't have any songs in it which have made it into the growing list of iconic Disney anthems. Although, in my opinion, it does contain some rather catchy numbers. In fact, strangely, the only songs in the movie actually come from the villains or characters associated with them. If you haven't seen this film yet, it's basically Disney's take on Sherlock Holmes, with mice replacing their human counterparts. The star of the show is, of course, Basil, who takes on the role of Sherlock, our super sleuth hero. He lives directly below the home of Sherlock Holmes himself. The plot of the movie sees Basil trying to solve the mystery of a missing toy maker, whose young daughter, after first meeting the film's equivalent of Watson, Major Dawson, enlists an initially reluctant Basil's help to solve the crime. We later find out that the kidnapping is part of a much larger diabolical plot concocted by Basil's arch-nemesis, Ratigan, a take on Sherlock's original arch-nemesis, Professor Moriarty, voiced by the ever-spine-tingling Vincent Price. The film does contain some mild peril, and mostly takes place at night, so it does give the film quite a dark, eerie feel. It may be too much for the younger viewer, perhaps, but it was well received by our 6-year-old, who did manage to get most of the plot and enjoy some of the comedic moments. The film has been one of my favourite Disneys since I was a child. I think it's because I've always loved the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and in general a good whodunit. And this is it's quite a decent take on it for that genre, for an animated movie aimed at children. The film has a real sense of adventure and distinct energy, which moves it along at a fairly brisk pace. You don't have to wait long until Basil's on the case and outwitting his foes. One thing to watch out for is a very brief cameo from Dumbo, of all things. You'll see what I mean if you fancy watching the film, or if of course you've noticed it before. The film is actually based on a series of books by the author Eve Titus, entitled Basil of Baker Street. I've not actually read the books, nor know anybody that has. And so if anybody watching has indeed read the series, it would be interesting to know if the film meets with the tone and content of the books. Comments below, please. So overall, a very enjoyable and watchable entry from Disney's early classics range, and well worth a watch for the whole family. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Many thanks for watching. If you like my reviews and general movie discussions, please do leave a like on this episode, or please do hit that subscribe button. Please feel free to leave a like or comment on the episode, and I would love to hear from you if you have any other suggestions for any other kind of topics or movies for me to watch and review as part of our SciFirst MovieTalk series. Thank you for watching.